Welcome to the third episode of Designing the Future Textiles and Transformation Talks, Alexa Inquires, powered by Performance Days. Today I have the honor to speak to Bernd Keller, a visionary creative director, fashion designer and industry leader. With over 30 years of experience at renowned brands like Hugo Boss, Marc O Polo, Puma and Adidas, Bernd has consistently pushed the boundaries of sustainable fashion. Today, he continues to shape the industry through consultancy work and as co-founder of 1C1Y, a social fashion luxury brand which combines high-quality design with a commitment to supporting underprivileged children. 1C1Y stands for One Child, 1 Year because every item of clothing purchased, the customer specifically supports one child for 1 year. Today, we have the unique opportunity to hear from Bernd Keller, whose passion for sustainable fashion and innovative leadership is genuinely inspiring. Together, we will dive deep into his visionary ideas on how the fashion industry can evolve, adapt to rapid technological changes, and foster a culture of sustainability. Let's jump into this inspiring conversation and ignite new ideas for a sustainable future in fashion. Leading the future of textiles means embracing bold change. At Designing the Future, Alexa Inquires, we explore the industry's biggest challenges and the innovations driving sustainable change. Subscribe now to stay inspired and empowered. Let's lead the way towards a sustainable and responsible future together. Welcome, Bernd. Who is Bernd Keller in a nutshell?
Hello, Alexa. Such a pleasure being here. Well, if it's taken in one sentence, I must say I'm happy. And I think it's a big word. It's a big word to say in an industry, but this is the industry I love, and there's still lots to do, but I'm a very satisfied person because I know the way to go.
Fantastic. And I love to ask you all those questions today because I'm so curious about your answers. So let's start with your vision for sustainability. Your work with 1C1Y, True Standard, and other ventures has consistently pushed the boundaries of sustainable fashion. So my question is concrete. You've been a pioneer in merging sustainability with high fashion. How do you envision the role of sustainability evolving the fashion industry over the next decade, particularly in balancing high fashion with environmental responsibility?
Well, to answer this question, looking into the future, you need to understand the past. When we've been talking about sustainability in the past, let's say 20 years, it's been very much focused on raw materials. It's been about facts, it's been about certificates, and this role changed and is still ongoing to be changed. Where I see the biggest opportunity and the biggest future is to take more social responsibility. So this is the social area, not only the fair wages, not only the like not having children to work or long working hours. It's about doing something good with the talent that is given to you. So for the future, it's I think you need guidance. We are living in a very strange world. We all know about the climate change. We all know that the earth has its limits and we feel paralyzed. Many people think, I can't do anything, politicians have to. So I want to take you out of this circular and think as you can do something because you can do something. And this is where we are. Everybody can do something. And if it started in the 70s, 80s with a personal mindset, like a free attitude to say, I want to live better and I want to support sustainable products. This, I think, needs to be changed as a guidance given by politics, guidance given by governments. Because if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. If you've got children, A 3-year-old boy would eat chocolate and eat more chocolate and eat even the next basket of chocolate, but it's not really good for him. It's similar to fashion. People are searching for the fashion that is costing nothing because they want to look good and they throw it away. We are at a point where we need guidance, and I actually love the direction governments are taking all over the world. And I want to encourage politicians and governments to take next steps. This is the world coming to us, but I'm looking forward to this because I think these will be good laws, like supply chain laws, that will help us to save what is beautiful, our world.
Great answer. Thank you. Did you face difficulties in convincing both consumers and stakeholders that sustainability doesn't have to compromise on style and quality?
Well, if with words, yes. With products, no. Because honestly, if you needed to look into the stakeholders and need to differentiate and understand their worries and dreams to give good answers. If you're looking at the consumer, he wants to have the best price value relationship. If you look at the industry, you want to have the highest margin. If you look at the retailer, you don't want to carry risk. And if you've got a sustainable story to tell, they are worried about how to get this communication across because you haven't got so many people on the shop floors or online. You can't really show so much text. So how do you promote sustainable products? And if you talk to suppliers, we request to think different, to develop, to do something different, extraordinary, because it really starts from scratch with the yarn or with the machines to do something specifically beautiful and sustainable. So I think you've got the 4 different stakeholders to be convinced. But as I said, if you find the right people with the heart that are following the idea of sustainability, you take words, but then you use products. And then with products, you can convince that there doesn't have to be any compromise doing sustainable products.
Great. Yeah. Let's hope everyone will face this idea and go for it. I think it's so important that we all change our mind towards a sustainable future. And then coming to the second big part that is very important, I think we should talk about is like the challenges and the adaptations. So the textile industry is facing challenges never seen before. So from climate change to the rapid advancement of AI. What do you think should companies adopt to serve the ways in this rapidly changing environment?
First of all, it depends whom to talk to. I would talk to the CEO because honestly, it always comes from the top. So the attitude that is even more important than facts of a company, the storytelling, is there more than product? Is there a heart? Is there a culture? So to me, the story I would talk to the CEO is, what is besides product? What is your intention? Because we are blessed with talents. We're blessed living in Germany, and we're blessed living in this industry that we're working with beauty. Um, but there is, I think, more when it comes into products and sustainability next to the raw material and certificates. So to me, it's really the recommendation for the CEO to really take sustainability seriously and also with a kind of pleasure and with a encouragement for their leaders, and then be a role model for all the next level of the leadership to really communicate and make this as one of the bases of their direction. Because once you look into online, if you look into websites, sustainability is always a part of the culture. But the one thing is the written word, the other one is how it's lived. And this is in everyday business where you can prove that you want to care for human, animals, environment, and you do something with the power that you've got as a CEO, with the power that you've got as a big company, because people are looking at you. So the company itself, but also the CEO or the managers, they're always, as a leader, you're always on stage 24/7. So do you live it? Then it's authentic. Don't fake it. Don't be an actor. Don't talk about sustainability if it's about a press date and you need to find facts and reasons why to achieve this and that in the environmental or human destination, what you want to fulfill. So my recommendation really to rethink, is there more besides product? Is there a story? And is there attitude? And how do we live this?
Oh, yeah. What role do you see in innovation, but also social responsibility playing in this transformation?
Okay, now we're talking. You need to stop me because
Yeah. Okay,
sometimes
I stop you.
it's too long of an answer. I am convinced that people need boundaries, and even designers, they get better and better if they've got boundaries. And my limits were like, whenever they let me, were sustainable goals. So once you set your corridor, then it's easier not to be on the surface because you need to go deeper. And if you can do everything, then it's easy to do everything a little bit. If it's more straightforward and these are your limits and you say no to this and no to that, then you go deeper. And then is when innovation, new creativity, new solutions would bring you to new ideas. And sometimes this is the start of something bigger. To me, innovation in future, and at least I can say for my past years, has been the driving force when it comes to sustainability. So sustainability, in other words, is the driving force for innovation.
Absolutely. And social responsibility?
Wow, this is where I said I think I started when I've been working at Adidas first time. I learned a lot about sustainable raw materials, but this is now 30 years ago. Now I see there is far more of an evolution in sustainability when it goes more into social responsibility, but beyond the fair wages, etc. This is where we can make a difference. And today, I think what counts is the trust to a company, the trust to a name and the people that stand behind it. Sustainability can be seen in our industry as a driving force to make things better. We are blessed living in Germany in this industry, but there are people not so privileged that are living in war, living in poorness. And I think what we could do is getting creative, not only in product, but also in solution. If you're thinking with our heart and not only with our brain. So for me, social responsibility, and in terms of what I'm doing with 1C1Y, social fashion, is donating things with the products that we're selling to children in need. And this brings a different perspective to clothes, because you wear clothes because this sweater makes me looking better, but this sweater can help a child to get hope, and you wear this sweater with a different attitude. And it's like a shirt that you get from your grandmother or from your grandfather, and you honor, and you might not wear it very often, but every time you wear it, you're thinking of your relative. This is the way of how I'm wearing clothes from 1C1Y, and I love to talk to people and consumers that would tell me there's something special about it. And this is what I mean by social responsibility. There are so many different ways and opportunities to be more good also to social activities. Like there are different companies that are doing something for children, because children are our future. Children that are living on the streets, and like Vans, they're doing skater education and going to the unprivileged children on the street, and they're doing workshops. This is what makes a company valuable. And I just dream of the day, and I'm working in my next 20 years, if God lets me, to go step by step and do something with the skills I have and with the opportunity of networking that I've got, to do something different in this industry, but also with this industry.
Oh. Let's hope it'll work out fantastically. Thank you, Bernd. My next part about human capital and leadership, you've already almost answered in my last question, but I go back to it. So maybe you just give the answers that you would like to add to your answer before.
Mm-hmm.
So you've led teams at some of the biggest names in fashion, in creative and in operational roles. So how can leaders promote a positive change in their organizations by supporting sustainable practices while also effectively developing their teams in an industry increasingly driven by technological advancements?
Yeah. I think everybody can see itself as a leader. It doesn't depend on the role he's playing. Like an assistant designer can be a leader because people are looking at him. And the same with a CEO or a category manager. Human capital, I think human capital is not a nice word, because it brings people into like value, like you're counting money. But your team is the most important value of the whole company. And I think if you appreciate human personality, and it's easy to drop these words like be a role model, whatever, but I think these times where technology is overtaken some of the like human areas, I think it's very, very important for everybody to take human over technology, appreciate your partner, your team, hear to their ideas. You can use technology. I'm not saying AI is wrong or you shouldn't use it, but remember that sometimes the biggest learnings are done by errors, by mistakes. And we don't want to be a machine trying to be as good as AI. Take it as a tool, but I think the human being, emotions, ideas, creativity is super important. And we have to be really careful not to eliminate our role in what we love to do, because we're giving machines and technology too much space.
Thank you, Bernd. That's very important. And I also have a personal opinion about that, because it's really true. I mean, it should be always humans over the machine, and especially human to human. But we should learn how to deal with AI, because it's so important that we learn how to deal with it and implement it as intelligent assistancy.
Yeah.
So AI becomes our IA for the future to support us with all the creativity and the processes to become faster and even more effective.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the next question. For me, it's also very important how you think about consumer engagement. So as consumers become increasingly aware of sustainability issues, their expectations are evolving. So how can fashion brands effectively engage with consumers and inspire them to embrace sustainable fashion?
Yeah, this is a challenge partly because you need to come back to maybe old-fashioned manners. Because I'm convinced I can just tell you about some success factors, stories that I experienced. As we're living in a very digital world, the information that you get by data about the consumer and consumer, you obviously get by all different online portals, or who is, like, when you've got a um, registered consumer profile of your company, you get some data. But what you're not getting is the relation to the brand. I've I had experiences where you go back into old-fashioned invitations of face-to-face consumer and designers. So meet the designer on the retail shop floor in Paris or in Düsseldorf or in London, where you've got a door of your company, and invite them to experience the collection, specifically the sustainable values behind the collection, in a direct talk to the designer or assistant designer, doesn't matter. But these conversations I treasure very high. I think they're so important to have the direct communication with face-to-face meetings. And because there are a lot of things that you can't read between the lines that are taken by impressions. And yeah, I've experienced, on the one side, very positive sales in meetings like this. On the other side, really engagement by people with an understanding of how much work it is to go the extra mile, that there's a difference between conventional collection creation and sustainable collection creation. And I see the eyes open and the mouth open sometimes, and it's been every time a very positive response. So this is just one example, but my key message is, don't rely only on digital information. Try to get connected to the end consumer. And there are so many different ways how you could do this.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Thank you. Last question, Bernd. The legacy question. Looking back at your a year forward and to the future, what legacy do you hope to leave within the fashion industry?
Well, I could like write a few things where I say I'm happy that I could contribute. But in the end, I think once I'm gone and nobody would stand at my grave and say, oh, he helped Hugo Boss to refrain from fur, or he helped Adidas to go the next step in sustainable processes. I think it will be about, hopefully, this is what I hope, because I really thought of it, like, what would people say? I hope that people would remember me as an authentic fighter for the good, and that I always had fun, because this is one of the most important things, to take fashion as it is. It's beauty, but it's a beautiful business. And we in Germany sometimes forget about this. The value in Italy, in France, I studied in Italy, and I know that fashion is part of culture. In Germany, it's a functional thing to not get wet or cold. I think this is something where I hope people would say, yes, he loved what he did. And I can say, I do love what I do. And I also look optimistic in future, because there's no other way to go than the sustainable way.
And that's wonderful. And do you want to influence the next generation of designers
Oh,
and leaders in their pursuit of a
oh
more
yes.
sustainable and ethically
Yeah.
driven industry?
Yeah, because when you think of future, you need to go to universities. And when I see students there, I'm very, very happy that the zeitgeist, uh, like for many years now, went um, uh, into their daily business in universities. Though they're taking sustainability very seriously. And I see big hope in the next generation designers because they are born with sustainable zeitgeist. And the only wish I could give them, and I'm always giving them, is don't forget craft. Learn how to sew, learn how to sell. Go use this because it's a privilege that we can learn things like this. Don't rely on data, because even if you become category manager, if you become senior designer, even COO or whatever it is, it's so much worse traveling and talking to the man or woman that is suing in India, China, Italy, wherever, because you know what you're talking about. And I'm a bit scared that this knowledge of craftsmanship is getting lost with the days because nobody wants to learn it. See it as an investment, and it's very, very bright to clever to do it because it's investment in your future.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. I mean, without having the knowledge of the craft, even you cannot use the newest technologies because you
Yeah.
can drive forward. Thank you, Bernd. That was a fantastic interview with you. I'm very honored to have had the time that you actually took the time, because I know that you're incredibly busy. And I would like to finish our interview with a small question that I did not prepare you for. Because in every interview, I mean, so far I had two, one with Anna Christiansson and one with Pascal Moreau. I have a small question because we want to implement a very small change with every episode that the audience is invited to follow. Meaning, Anna Christiansson decided she wants to commit to a change that she would eat up everything that is in her fridge, so she will not waste food anymore. And I followed. So we're having constant exchange about it, and we're doing pretty well. With Pascal Moreau, we decided that we want to plant flowers for diversity to attract bees, if no matter whether you live in the countryside or also downtown in the city, you put it outside your windows. So to bring in more biodiversity into the cities and help support to keep the natural insects. So what could you imagine to think about a small change?
Okay, there's one thing, as you said. Yes, I'm busy in work, but I had the idea to do this for a longer time. But maybe now I need to do it in written. Um, it's a discussion about upcycling or flea market, but actually in the community. I'm engaged in church, and I think you can go in any place and say, invite people to bring their stuff and make a flea market to exchange and like upcycle things to give them a next life, and committed to do it, and not only have it on my to-do list.
Oh, I will go with you. So, I
Okay.
mean, I collect clothes probably as much as you do. So for me, it's going to be a challenge too, but I wanted to do it for a long time. So I follow Ben. Thank you. That's
Okay, okay.
fantastic.
Deal.
So, deal. Cool, Chuck. Thank you. So we're at the end of our interview, and I'm very, very grateful to have had that wonderful chat with you. So, and have a very prosperous week ahead of you with all the things you have to do, and looking forward to have a nice talk with you in the future. Thank you, Bernd. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Alexa, and you're doing a great job. And I'm so happy that we're bringing the joy of sustainability across. You do it so well. Thank you very much for being invited.
Yeah, let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
As we conclude today's enlightening conversation, I want to take a moment to reflect on the profound insights shared by Bernd. He expressed a heartfelt sense of happiness rooted in his love for this industry and his clear vision for its future. Bernd emphasized that embracing sustainability requires us to learn from the past, advocating for both social responsibility and a collaborative approach with government guidance to foster a no-compromise attitude towards sustainable products. We also touched on the importance of leadership in addressing the challenges ahead. Bernd made it clear that the responsibility for sustainability starts at the top, with CEOs urged to embrace this mission passionately and serve as role models for their teams. Regarding digital and technological advancements, he believes that we should not allow too much space for machines and AI. So, in order to build a healthy brand consumer communication, brand builders and designers should not rely on digital data information only, but meet face-to-face with consumers in the retail surfaces to explain the extra mile of sustainable collection creation. His vision for legacy resonates deeply, aspiring to be remembered as an authentic champion for good in the fashion industry while inspiring the next generation to build their craft skills. I was particularly inspired by Bernd's idea of small, meaningful changes like upcycling and exchanging clothes through private flea markets. What a lovely practice to embrace during this changing season. Thank you for joining us for the third edition of Designing the Future, Textile and Transformation Talks, Alexa Inquires, powered by Performance Days. We invite you to share your thoughts, subscribe and engage with us as we strive to create a vibrant conversation within our industry and beyond. Thank you and goodbye for today.